All right. The Anvil Arrow teaser. We got a picture of a guy with a bow and arrow. We've got apparently a reference in a data file that calls it the Anvil Arrow. Ah, screw it. Let's just make a show where we just predict the anniversary sale. All right. Speculation fun time. The Anvil Arrow. What is it? Well, let's step back and let's look at the Anvil lineup of ships. Does Anvil need a bomber? No, they don't. Does Star Citizen broadly need another bomber? No. I mean, Retaliator, Harbinger, Gladiator? No. Heavy fighter? No. Anvil's kind of got that covered with the Lightning. Medium fighter? No. Got that covered with the Hornet. So, really, what's left in the smaller, more affordable range? Now, apparently, someone pulled up a weapon loadout, which was none that impressive. So, I think we can rule out a big ship. I don't think we're getting an Anvil Capital out of the Arrow. I think that's a safe bet, everybody. You know, the Aegis Gladius has been around a long, long time. I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but that is a ship that in the Star Citizen universe is now, that basic hull design is 200 years old in the Star Citizen universe. Kind of in need of an update. Anvil is very much, very tight with the UAE military, and certainly with the Hornet being the success that it apparently is, they'll probably look to extend that relationship and replace an aging, I guess you can't really call it an airframe, but the aging space frame that is the Gladius. So that's kind of where my thoughts go, is that this is a light fighter. Now, some people said, well, there's that picture of it in the game files. Someone showed that on Twitter. Does that mean it's going to be flight ready? I mean, I guess. I guess that would be a possibility, though. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. It just means that they're opening up a slot and saying, hey, this thing is either existing or going to exist. Flight ready, a bit of a gamble, but if we were to take that as a sign that this is something that's definitely going to show up in the very near future, my guess would be that the Anvil Arrow is a stripped down version of the Anvil Hawk. Now, the Anvil Hawk, of course, is the small, single player bounty hunter ship. But if you remove the EMP and you remove the bounty hunting module, you're probably going to save a lot of weight and resolve one of the Hawk's outstanding issues, which is the Hawk was described as not a particularly fast fighter. And the name Arrow doesn't really imply ponderous and slow. So my guess would be that given the fact that it is so well armed, it has folding wings so it can fit on a carrier, all that neat shit, I'm guessing that it's probably going to be a stripped down military fighter variant of the Hawk. It's probably going to be somewhat distinct from the Hawk, but my expectation is since they're building the Hawk anyways, if they built it as a variation on the Hawk, that would kind of allow them to get a twofer, which is, two for the price of one, or something very similar to that. Save a lot of development time, deliver something that's hot and flight ready in players' hands, something that was obviously very well received with the Valkyrie, something that, got people really excited. It's like, holy crap, we can fly this already if I buy this now. How much does it cost? Never mind. Yes, please. So I think that would be based on very shaky ground, mind you. Based on very shaky ground, that would be my expectation. Based on the very little, emphasis little amount of information that we have. I mean, we're basing this off of an apparent picture of game files, a tweet showing a bow and arrow, and supposedly a weapon loadout which looks kind of smallish. That's where my mind goes. That's what I kind of expect. But as I'm sure many of you will remember, since we're talking about the Anvil Hawk anyways, that last year at the anniversary sale, of course, we saw the Anvil Hawk and another not so little ship that kind of surprised us, which was the Hammerhead. So is there only going to be one ship at the anniversary sale? I'm leaning towards no. I'm leaning towards there is that one elephant in the room that we haven't discussed yet, though arguably its role may have to a certain degree already have been filled, though you could argue once again that it isn't, and that is the Drake Corsair. Now, arguably this is also a distant possibility, though when we talked about all the upcoming Drake ships, there was the Vulture, which we eventually got. There was the Kraken, which we eventually got. Remember, we were voting on 4 different ships. The Starlifter, which we got, though it was repurposed to Crusader Industries. And then there was kind of a question mark moment, which is when the Mercury, the Star Runner, came out. We kind of looked at that and said, is that maybe not the Corsair slot? Now, obviously, to a different purpose. The Corsair was originally described to us as being perhaps a more combat-oriented take on the RSI Constellation. And then we ended up getting the Mercury Star Runner, which was a fast smuggling ship, clearly not built for direct combat, but kind of size-wise, it kind of fits into that slot, and it is a ship built around, you know, the less legitimate parts of the universe. So could they have maybe revisited that and said, a combat version, maybe not, but maybe like a fast smuggling ship? Because, you know, the Connie was always billed as kind of like the Millennium Falcon of Star Citizen until the Mercury Star Runner kind of showed up on the scene and kind of stole its thunder and kind of said, no, this is the Millennium Falcon. And a lot of us were really excited about that ship and really liked it. So it could be that was what the idea behind the Corsair kind of morphed into when they kind of threw away certain ideas and picked up different ones and took it in a different direction. That's a possibility. But I think that the Drake Corsair, the core idea behind the Drake Corsair, which is a combat-oriented ship, which isn't quite going in the direction of the Hammerhead, which, I mean, technically it's referred to in the ship, in the ship menu as a Corvette, but I guess it's more of a light Corvette, if anything. I would say that slot kind of remains open and noticeable, that a ship around the Connie size that is strictly combat oriented and not just like delivering troops to the ground or some other role like that, but something that is strictly built for combat, is a gap that remains unfilled and which arguably the Drake Corsair could fill. And there's a lot of interesting ways I think that you could go with a ship like that. So I kind of feel like, in my mind, those are the two standouts. I see a light fighter intended to replace the Gladius, probably built to be very, very fast, something based off of the Hawk, and the Drake Corsair. That's kind of what I'm expecting at the anniversary sale. What we'll see, I guess time will tell. Anyways, that's it for all my guesswork and speculation today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.